What's up, y'all? Hey, man, it's Toby D, man. I'm gonna try this live thing tonight and see if it works. If it doesn't, y'all let me know, and I promise you, I will get you up a recorded video. I know the last time I tried to do this, I had some issues with a lot of crackling in my voice. So if you do hear that, please let me know. And I guess I'll just have to get off of this thing. Should it not work out? But I'm going to try it and see if I can make it work. Hold on 1 second. See if we can get this thing going here. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm back, guys. I'm back. I had to go do something right quick. I'm right back though. I guess we can go ahead and jump into it. Like I said, man, if y'all hear anything going wrong, please let me know, and I'll get off of this. So let's get right into it, man. I mean, I know some of you right now are very disappointed in what you've seen. You're not too super excited right now about the season. But man, look, let's talk about the bright side of this. It's still a long season ahead, guys. I still believe in the Atlanta Falcons. They're my team. I've been watching them for a long time, and I can't see myself stopping from watching them now. We've been through some hard times with this team, and it's no need in turning away at this point. Yes, it is rough. A lot of people are calling for the head of Steve Sarkisian. They want him fired, whatever the case may be. But hey, man, he's here. You know what I mean? So we got to work with what we got. Dan Quinn believes in him, and we got to roll with it. You know what I'm saying? We believe in Dan Quinn. We got to the Super Bowl. As a matter of fact, we got there earlier than expected. So we got to ride with it and just see where it's going to go. Last night was definitely a demoralizing disaster. I know I feel that way. I know many of you feel that way. But it is the New England Patriots, and they look to demoralize you at any given chance that you give them. And we definitely gave them that opportunity last night, and they took advantage of it. So, I mean, what can you say? It started off with them having 28-3. I think once again on the scoreboard or whatnot. It just is what it is, man. We can't get past that 28-3, those jokes. And I'm not going to sit here saying that I'm upset about what they're doing, because we did it to ourselves, man. But right now, what I'm looking at and what I've been looking at these past, I say 6 games now, this team is playing very undisciplined. And it's the saddest thing to watch when you have all this talent that you have to give Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitroff credit for, that they built. But right now, to me, from coaching on down, these players are not doing what they need to do, and this coaching staff is not doing what they need to do. Now, what some people might think as insignificant, Dan Quinn has finally won a coin toss, y'all. In the first 5 games, he has not won one coin toss at all. And finally, last night, he won his first coin toss. And let me tell you what this does for Dan Quinn. It finally allowed him to defer the ball to the second half, which he has traditionally been doing the first 2 years as being Atlanta Falcons head coach. Ladies and gentlemen, this team has been putting the offense out there first. And it's not been because they're doing it, it's been because of other teams that have won the coin toss has decided to defer the ball to the second half. And I believe in a way to take that strategy away from the Atlanta Falcons from being able to do so. And that's exactly what they've done. Now, I said this in a video with Mualamu. They basically said, give us your best shot on offense. And as you can see, some of those games, we've only scored 3 points. In some of those games, we put up 7. But in any event, sometimes we didn't score anything. And a clear case of that was the Buffalo game. And another clear case of that was against recently the New England Patriots. It's clearly evident, the elephant in the room is that this offense is really suffering right now. And that could be because of Steve Sarkisian, and some of that could be the players. And I'm really blaming it on everybody because to me, it's everyone's fault of what's going on. Now, what I'm going to try to do is read some of the questions that you guys have. This is like my only 3rd time doing this, so I'm still a rookie at doing it. So please forgive me and help me try to get through it. If you don't mind. But we're going to try to talk about as much as we can get in the time period that I'm going to be on here and talking to you about your concerns, what you think is going on with the Atlanta Falcons. If you believe in the Atlanta Falcons after 6 games, or if you decided to turn your TV off and forget the rest of the season and get ready for the draft. I know that sounds harsh, but there are fans out there that have already closed their doors on the Atlanta Falcons for the season. And you can call them fickle fans, bandwagon fans when everything's going right. But at the end of the day, they do have a right to how they feel. Unfortunately, I guess for some that may be mad at me because I'm not as sad about what's going on as most. I love my team and I love to watch them. Now, do I love to see them lose in the way that they did, demoralizing type of fashion last night? No, I don't. But the truth of the matter is it happened, and the New England Patriots felt very good about it. Let me look at some of the things y'all are saying right now and see what's going on. Now, I'm looking at Falcon Freak, and Falcon Freak is funny because someone else I know kind of made similar comments about getting rid of Sarkisian and Dan Quinn taking over the defensive play calling for Marquand Manuel. Let me tell you, Falcon Freak, the only thing that I see, I like Marquand Manuel. But I think what we might be experiencing, and just my opinion, is Marquand Manuel to me has become too much of a friend to the team. And it may be hindering him from defensively being able to get a voice into the guys the way that he needs to, like Dan Quinn would be able to do. And I think that's something he's going to have to develop as he continues to go along. I think he's called the game pretty decent. But of course, you know, no turnovers. And that's hurting us right now. We're not getting turnovers and we're turning the ball over constantly. Kind of reminds you of the 2015 season. Unfortunately, which I know many of us do not want to go back to. But speaking of that 2015 season, the same similar look that was on Matt Ryan's face that first year when Kyle Shanahan got here is very similar to the look that he has right now. He's very uncomfortable. You saw it last night. And listen, y'all, we can talk about Spygate all we want to. The New England Patriots, they know how to win, period. And they can be intimidating at times. And I think that also played a role last night. This team did not go in there with the confidence, and they have not had the confidence all season. And they've been very undisciplined, and you guys have seen that. This is the second game in a row where we've gotten interceptions, and unfortunately, they have been negated by pass rushing penalties of roughing the passer. And that hurts when you get turnovers that could possibly change the momentum of the game, and it's totally negated by a stupid penalty. And you know good and well last night, Adrian Claiborne was not going to get away with hitting the legend, the ghost, the GOAT, or however you want to call him himself, Mr. Tom Brady. It just was not going to happen. But I like Marco Emmanuel, and I think we should give him a chance. Now, Sarkisian, the jury is still out on him. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see. I agree with you, Freddie Freak. 03, man, you've been behind and supporting me for quite some time, and I thank you for listening in, man. I like Marco Emmanuel. I just think that he needs to find his unfriendly voice, I guess, if that makes sense. Because right now, I think these guys, even though they respect Marco Emmanuel, they're looking at him too much of a friend of a friend. And they don't have that, he doesn't have that aggressiveness yet to me in his voice that Dan Quinn rolls with. And that's what he's going to have to, I guess the word differentiate between that friend voice and that aggression voice to really call these guys out and to get them disciplined and doing what it is they're supposed to do fundamentally, which they're not doing enough of. Let's get to some more things. Let's see. I think we played it well against the Patriots. Thank you, Kaylin McComb. I hope I'm not butchering your name too much. But I think I agree with you. I think we played well against the Patriots. Unfortunately, what's been happening, in my opinion, in this season, the plays that the Falcons got last year is not swinging in their direction this season. Everything, in my opinion, that could go wrong has gone wrong. We can call it Super Bowl hangover, and I'm just going to be honest with y'all. I have not been listening to any sports stations since the Falcons have been on this 3-game losing skid. So I cannot tell you what Hugh Douglas, John Freaky have been saying. I don't know what anybody's been saying because I do not want to hear any negativity. Thank God for you all. You have provided us an audience where me and JR have had our own voice that we can share our opinions about the team. And you guys have been so ever gracious to listen. I know sometimes my voice can get real boring, but that's just a gift I don't possess. Singing is what I do normally. I haven't done it a lot, but you know, that's really what my gift is, and doing music. But I really appreciate you guys for allowing us this outlet, me and JRC, to even be able to have the opportunity to do this right now. But I do agree. We had opportunities. We were down in the red zone 4 times, and we only got 1 touchdown. And hey, look at the bright side of that. Julio Jones finally got his first touchdown of the season. Should have had to on a rollout play by Matt Ryan, but it just seems like even the rollout plays have been like slow motion. And I don't know what's going on with this, with this slow motion type of feel from our team right now, but it just seems like there's no sense of urgency. And like I said, no confidence, no discipline. And that could be because the Super Bowl. That could be Dan Quinn realized that he may be dealing with that issue, so he let go of some coaches, thinking that might alleviate some of the situation that's going on. We don't know what happened behind closed doors. Jake Matthews, I'm sure many of you remember the article came out. He said after that Super Bowl, that team and the coaches all got in a room together and they basically vented. Boy, I wish I was a fly on the wall when that conversation was going on, because I know it had to be some explicatives going on up in that room about what happened in that Super Bowl. And thank God Kyle Shanahan got out when he did, because ain't no telling what they wanted to do to him, as well as many of you fans probably wanted to hang him for some of that play calling. But guys, at the end of the day, we got to put some of that on Dan Quinn too. He's listening to the play calls. And if he's not overriding anything because he's putting his trust in his offensive coordinators, what seems like what he's doing once again with Steve Sarkisian, then some of that blame has to go on Dan Quinn as well. Dan Quinn is, to me, a great coach, but he's still wet behind the ears, man. There's a lot of things that still need to be resolved in his coaching methods. And right now, we're still seeing a lot of flaws, even in his third year with the team. And thank God for him, he signed a contract that allows him to be able to control the team the way he does. But my gripe kind of with him is, if he doesn't get out of this trusting certain people on the team when he knows what he wants this team to be, he may end up seeing himself on the outside looking in with a lot of built talent that he helped to bring here, but could potentially see himself not taking that team to the promised land, if you will, once again, to hopefully win. Now, I'm sure many of you don't want to look to 2019 when you know the Super Bowl is going to come here. You know, Arthur Blank said he wanted his team to be in it. But many of us are not ready to throw away this season after 6 games. I know I'm not. Now, we're having a lot of hard time right now against AFC opponents, specifically AFC East opponents this year, because that's who we have. And we've lost against 3 of them. Now, Sunday, to me, going against the Jets, and I'm going to let my boy JR talk about and preview that game. To me, that is a must-win game. That is the game to help set us back up to getting into these rest of the NFC opponents that we have right now, to get on the road. And after that game, we got the Carolina Panthers. Now, I know the team can't look ahead, but I'm looking ahead because I can do that. I'm not playing. But the Carolina Panthers aren't really doing anything. Their plays are so basic that every defense is caught on to it, and that's why they're not having any success. When they get beat by the team that many of their fans said we couldn't blow out, they couldn't even score more than 3 points. So at least we scored enough to win the game. But at some point in time, this offense has to get going. Now, I believe that if we can just start getting this turnover train going on this defense, that we can get some type of life into this team, because right now this team, guys, is playing with no life. They're on life support, but that life support is barely keeping them breathing. We saw it in the first 2 out of the 3 games. Only one of them games we won undeniably. The 2 that we almost should have lost, it's looking like the rest of them that we did lose and we're not fortunate enough to come back on. But I'm hoping after we can get past these AFC East opponents that we can really get the ball rolling, and that's got to start with a Jets team that's pretty hot right now at scoring points, unlike us, that we're not able to do. But that game last night, I'm sure many of you want to talk about the fourth down play on 4th and goal when we're running a jet sweep. Now, I heard Dan Quinn say today that the front that the New England Patriots had out there made it difficult for us to run the ball in those situations. I ain't buying none of that, because I just heard Steve Sarkisian say, surprisingly, we've done well running the ball down there, especially in close range of scoring. So I'm sorry, Dan Quinn, I'm not really buying that. But let's look at some more stuff here. Let's see what Ghost Peppers is talking about. What up, by the way, Ghost Peppers, man? Thanks for listening. And I agree with that, Ghost Peppers. I agree with that. Matt Ryan has been overthrowing people, but it is equally the same as saying, like you just said, there's been a lot of drop passes. Like I told you, this team is not playing with confidence, and they're undisciplined. They're dropping more balls than we ever remember. And, you know, Matt Ryan is overthrowing guys that are wide open. Matt Ryan had 2 shots in the end zone last night, and he missed them both. And both times, guys were open. One time he tried to hit Julio Jones on that corner of the end zone route. Missed him. Then I think he tried to come back and hit Sanu and missed him as well. He's missed a lot of throws, and it kind of reminds me of 2011. I don't know if y'all remember or not, the game against the Texans when we went up in there in Houston. The first couple of plays, they had deep shots, and he tried to hit Roddy White, missed him. Then he tried to hit Julio Jones, missed him. It's just one of those things with Matt Ryan, man. He had a great year last year, and many of us tried to avoid and block out listening to people like Colin Cowherd and other people talking about could Matt Ryan have had a basically one great season, and the next season he basically what they call getting back to his normal self. But Matt Ryan has the numbers, guys. That to me is undeniable. He has the numbers, man. But he get this Super Bowl, I think that would really put him over the top. And he was there. He was there. Unfortunately, we could not capitalize and win when we had the game in hand. But I'm believing that Matt Ryan can turn it around. Let's look at some more things, man. James C. Obliqueton the third, man. I hope I got your name right, man. If I don't, man, hey, you can do whatever and curse me out, man, because I'm not that good with pronouncing a lot of people's names, but I'm gonna try to get it as close as I can. You believe the defensive play calling is soft? I mean, it's kind of hard to tell that. I mean, to me, the defense is playing okay. It's like I said, man, we got to get turnovers. Now, I do have to admit, these last few games, I don't know if you all have noticed or not, and I'm sure you have because you're more football savvy than I am. These offensive lines that our defense have been going up against have been big. And even Dan Quinn admitted as such. These last 3 offensive lines, including last night, you saw how New England did a great job defending against our stunts. They made everything we did last night look slower than usual. And the other thing you got to understand too, guys, teams have been basically taking our strategy and our identity from us and using it against us. We're supposed to be the fast and physical teams, but if you've noticed, the defenses that have played against our offenses have played a lot more faster and physical than we're used to this season. I believe his name was Trent Green, one of the commentators for that Miami game. He even said as much, how fast that Dolphins team was flying around. They were basically looking like we were supposed to be looking. And we've been running into that case. Every team that has played us has been coming in, giving us their best shot, truly. Dan Quinn said this. He knew it was going to happen when the season started. And the players knew this, that every team we played was going to be up for that game when we were on their schedule. And it has proved evident. Now, we beat down the Packers because we seem to have their number. Aaron Rodgers seems to struggle against Dan Quinn, as it is already noted, because he has not beaten Dan Quinn yet. So, we know that was a game we were going to go in matching up against them very well. Let's keep it rolling, man. All right, well, let's see here. Legend Randy one believes that Dante Poe has been a bust so far. Yeah, he has not gotten sacks like we was hoping he would get. But guys, let's be honest. The dude hadn't really had a lot of sacks coming into the NFL. Now, I think his second season, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that, he had like 6 sacks, but he hasn't had above that since. Now, I'm not sure why he's not getting sacks right now for what we paid him, but he has helped us. Because of the double teams on him and Grady Jarrett, guys, we have a lot more sacks in the first 6 games than we had last season in the first 6 games. So I would have to say, although he hasn't been getting any himself, he has been a tremendous help to this front. Now that's just how I see it. James, you say you believe we should have kept Hegman. We all don't really know what happened with Rashid Hegman. Now, he would have been a great addition because I'm going to tell you right now, guys, as you saw last night, and you continue to see those last 3 games that we've lost, this Falcons front still cannot stop the run. Now, I don't know what's going on with that. That could fall under the line of not being disciplined, because I believe you have the front that can dominate defending the run, but we're still not seeing it. One of the things I said in one of the videos I had is that this defense has to be able to stop the run. And if you keep allowing teams to break off 4 yards of pop on you, you allow that offensive coordinator to be able to call whatever he pretty much wants to on a 3rd down and 6, on a 2nd down and 6. It don't matter. You're putting them in great position to basically open up that playbook and tear you up with it. Somehow we have got to stop this run game that teams have been running on us, especially in these last 3 games. That has been the trend. Teams have been racking up over 100 yards on us, and we have got to stop that. If we want to be a dominating defense, we have to be able to dictate this run game and not allow it to tear us up the way that it's been doing us so far. Because, see, that is one way of demoralizing our defense, when you're running the ball all down our throats and then you're setting up for the play action on us. And that's hurting us. We have to stop this run game that we're seeming to struggle with and seem like we have the pieces to be able to do it. And I'm going to tell you another thing. Unfortunately for Keanu Neal, those highlight hits he was getting last season, he's not getting them highlight hits this season. Guys are very smart now of knowing where he is and making sure they're ducking their heads down before they get their head taken off. And therefore, those 5 fumbles he was able to force last season, he's unable to do that this season because situations have not permitted itself to allow him to be able to have a season like that. Now, one thing I can say, and many will probably disagree, his coverage skills have gotten better to me, y'all. So I would disagree with anybody who thinks that he's not doing that well in coverage. I think he's doing much better than what he has done. Let's see what D-Pat has to say here. Now, you know, D-Pack feels the same way. Of someone else that I was just reading about, basically saying, you know, the defense is playing soft. A lot of people want to compare us to Seattle, and rightfully so. Dan Quinn came over here from Seattle. He's running a similar defense now, but you got to remember, if you listen to Pete Carroll during his press conferences last season, he says there are some differences. Now, I don't know what all those differences are. There are guys more intelligent than me that watch more film than me, know what some of those scheme differences are, but apparently there are some schematical differences, guys, that Dan Quinn has implemented in his defense that Pete Carroll does not go by from a philosophical standpoint. I think we have all the tools necessary that we need on defense to be a top 10 defense, which to me, and I'm sure many of you feel, has not lived up to the hype that they've been getting in the offseason. Now, I do have to admit, we've done better as far as passing yards total allowed. A lot better than we did last season. Now, we're playing a lot more man-to-man than we've ever seen, and many of you clamored for that. So if there are any of you that are complaining now because we're running a lot of man-to-man and it seems like it might not be working the way that you hope, I would hope that you would change your minds on that, because when Mike Smith had his guys backed off 10 yards, which we're seeing Tampa Bay starting to witness that right now, because they laughed at us when they got our coaches saying that because they had the talent, Mike Smith was not going to do the things there that he did here. But if you've been watching some of those games that have been fortunate to be on TV, especially since they were on Hard Knocks, those guys are playing 10 yards off the line of scrimmage, off the wide receivers, which we're not doing. I think we have the guys that are capable of playing man-to-man in Robert Alford, Brian Poole, and Desmond Trufant, and I don't blame us at all for playing that type of man-to-man coverage. Some zone, unfortunately, it gets on your nerves, especially when we're winning games, but hey, these last 3 games, we have not had a lead, so there was no cause for any of that, a lot of zone, playing in zone coverage. Now, like I said, I don't understand why we lost the games that we lost. I thought last night we had a good matchup. We kept some guys pretty quiet, but because our offense could not score points, guess what it does? It makes your defense got to go back on the field, and they got to play more snaps because of it. And that's just how it goes. And eventually your defense gets tired. And what do they do? When you get tired, what do? You make mistakes. We seen Grady Jarrett do it last night. Illegal hands to the face. You know, something that he did not have to do, but because he's tired, you're making mistakes because your offense cannot withhold up their end of the bargain and score points. You were down there in the red zone. As a matter of fact, New England was only down there, if I remember correctly from looking at the stats, they was only down in the red zone one more time than you was last night. Once that probably would not have been had we been able to get something going on offense. Let's see what else is going on here. I'm going to read a couple of more, and then I'm going to probably close it out, guys. I don't want to be on too long. Of course, you know, I got to be at work, and I'm sure many of you all do too. But let's look at Kaylin. I got one more from Kaylin here I want to read. They say they're also scared Matt Bryant is losing his touch. Having a solid kicker is essential. Now, I had someone else and say something about Matt Bryant. Listen, Matt Bryant was having, to me, a wonderful season before last night, and I guess we can argue that 60-yard kick he tried against the Miami Dolphins that was short and returned for a few yards before the halftime came up. Listen, guys, this team has not been playing well, period. Everybody. All the way from the special team, defense, the offense. There's no spark. Last year, our offense was a spark, and it got everybody else going. This year, we don't have that. This defense is not that defense yet. If they were getting more turnovers, then we might get juice up this offense and really get them boys going. But we have not been able to do that. We haven't been able to get anything really going on special teams other than a few good runs that Andre Roberts had leading up into the New England game, of course, when he was basically nowhere to be found. We haven't really had any spark in any phase of the game. I'm not believing that Matt Bryant is done. Like I said, I think Matt Bryant was having a wonderful season up to this point. He got one kick block last night, unfortunately, and then he missed another one. But you went into New England, you went in Foxborough, and everything that could go wrong, like I said, it went wrong, man. And, you know, that's just how it is, guys. Right now, this is the year we're just not playing well. But I still believe in this team. We got a lot of NFC opponents coming up, and I'm believing that Dan Quinn and Sarkisian can get this thing turned around. And I'm hoping that this game against Josh McCown and them Jets, because we know he will cough the ball up if you're in right position to make the plays without any roughing the passer issues. Of course, we clean up those mistakes. I think we'll be just fine, and we'll get some turnovers. And hopefully that turnover train will start in this game coming up Sunday. Now I'm going to read one more, man, and I'm going to check myself on up out of here after that, man, and let's see what's going on. Let's see. Eric D. He basically believes that the Matt Ryan don't have trust in Steve Sarkisian. And the other thing is that the play calling is too predictable. I'm with you on both of those. To be honest with you, Eric D. I'm with you on both of those. The play calling is predictable and safe. But how much is that on Sarkisian and how much of that is on Dan Quinn? I mentioned this before. I truly believe that those 93 plays that unfortunately the team that beat us last night ran on us in that Super Bowl spooked Dan Quinn and brought him to a more conservative offense to try to help alleviate some of the pressure on his defense from having to play a lot of snaps in games. Now, while they haven't come up against a team that's ran 70 plus snaps on them, they've been undisciplined, like I said before. And that's just been how it's been all year, guys. Even Matt Bosher is struggling this season. This guy right here could kick to the 30-yard line, you know, on the other side of the field from being on our own 5 or 10. He's not doing that this season. And you, as well as I know, you cannot give New England Patriots any chance to run from the 50-yard line, which we did, unfortunately, last night, giving them gifts after gifts after gifts. And hopefully, guys, what I'm hoping is to be able to see the things that are not happening for us right now turn around. But my mind is telling me this. If you go in playing safe and conservative, you're going to get a conservative outcome, which is 3-3. We weren't conservative last year. And because we was aggressive, we saw aggressive things happening. And now that we're choosing to play this ball control type of offense, we're not getting turnovers, guys. That's the problem. If you're going to play this type of offense, you got to get turnovers on the defense and not turn the ball over. But I can go on and on talking about the Falcons all day long as well as y'all can. I'm gonna take one more. I'm gonna take one more. I'm gonna take one more, man, because let's see what else is going on out here. Okay, Eric D, I'm gonna take your last one right here because I feel exactly what you're saying. You're wondering exactly what a lot of people wondering. How you go from scoring 30 plus points to scoring the amount of points we're scoring right now, which is 17 and probably just a little bit above that. Easy. Steve Sarkisian. Here's a guy, unfortunately, to me, still trying to figure out how to use these guys. And I think it's more to me, I'm going to rephrase that. I don't think he's trying to figure out how to use the guys as much as he's confused on how to use a specific talent to do what it is he's trying to do. He's made it a known fact that he loves our running back group. Okay, well, if you love the running back group, then you need to center the game plan around the running backs, and everything else like Julio Jones, Mohamed Sanu, Taylor Gabriel will follow. But I think where his struggle is, okay, well, I got Tevin Coleman, I got Devontae Freeman, but then I'm being torn on should I center the offense around Julio Jones? Or shoot, Mohamed Sanu got some good talent too. Should I center the offense around him? I think he's putting too much on himself, not to mention the fans telling him what he needs to do. And I know many coaches say they're not listening to fans. That's a bunch of BS because they are. They might tell you they're not because they don't want you to believe that they're not making the decision that they need to make because they're supposed to be the professionals in this situation and we're not. But they're listening to the fans, whether they admit it or not. And I think he's just going through all of this stuff in his head on what to do. And I believe that's why we don't have any offensive rhythm, because he's torn between all the talent that he has instead of sitting down and game planning and using central pieces to do what he needs to do in order for the other things to unfold. But we'll see how it goes, guys. We're going into week 8. And we'll see how we come out against the Jets. I don't know how we're going to come out. I believe that's a must-win game. I don't care if it's another AFC opponent and it's not NFC or not. But their defense, they have some defensive pieces, unfortunately. And we got to play against them. But we shall see how they do. Hopefully now Julio Jones gets going after getting his first touchdown. What should have been 2 last night, but it wasn't. But, guys, let's just all pray that this thing works out for us. There was supposed to be a meeting that I heard of with the players today talking about their concerns and like that. Of course, you know, it is Tell the Truth Monday. So I'm sure all kinds of things was going on with their concerns and everything in there. But, man, like I said, I can go on and on. I'm going to stop right here. Hey, look. I appreciate everyone that has chimed in, man, and hopefully I can do this again and get much better at it. I just been nervous about doing it because the last time me and JR had such a horrible experience, which was mainly on my side of things. But hopefully I can do this a couple of more times, and y'all let me know what I could do better. In my effort of trying to do a little bit more live things on YouTube and such nature. But, man, please, man, continue to comment, subscribe, like, share. And I really appreciate the fact that you guys have so many other places that you can listen to other people talking about the Falcons, but you give me and JR time when you have a chance, and we appreciate it, man. We do not take any of that for granted. Hey, God bless y'all, man. Again, it's pound for pound. Shout out to JR. Shout out to Muwalamu. Peace. I'm out.